There are about 1.5 lakh cyclists on Bangalore roads, and that number is only set to increase. Here are 4 women cyclists.
Hi, I'm Aarti Shastry.
I'm Shilpi.
My name is Mili Sharma.
I'm Poojya Baavaraj.
Here to share their experience of cycling in Bangalore roads. What drove you to cycle?
I started cycling in 2011 and mainly for commute because I wanted my commute to be predictable. Almost 10 years back I started cycling. I had a baby at home and I had to go to work and I have to come back. I cannot get stuck in traffic for an hour or two. So that's when I started commuting by cycle. I said, let me try out.
It was more on leisure rides that we did as a group with friends. Once we took our cycles to Kerala on one of our vacations, that's when it kind of changed the whole perspective with respect to cycling and touring and traveling itself.
I was really unfit before I started cycling. So my first experience was like about a 6-kilometer ride from my house to Windsor Manor and back. I remember huffing and puffing and stopping the cycle and probably thinking about all the gods that exist to save me from this turmoil. I've not stopped ever since.
How's your experience been while cycling in Bangalore roads?
There have been many memorable experiences when I'm on my bike. One of them is the children that greet you all the time. They want to take a picture with you, they want to take a selfie with you, they want to ride the cycle with you.
Although I have been living around Indranagar since 2014, but I never knew even the next lane next to my house. But ever since I started cycling, I know everything about Bangalore.
Other than that, you get to be more outdoors rather than inside the car.
I've also had my fair share of negative experiences. One of them being the traffic and how to navigate bigger, larger vehicles.
Sometimes these people on the road, especially auto rickshaws, bikers, and sometimes, not always, sometimes bus, they just come so close to you that you get startled. Tend to lose balance and that might lead to some horrible accidents.
What does safety and accessibility mean to you in the context of cycling?
Having ownership of the space on the road and not feeling like it's a borrowed space. Whenever I'm cycling, I always feel I've borrowed it from the larger and more intimidating vehicles that are out there. It also means being able to take the cycle out at any point in the morning, the night, and not having to fear for your life and safety.
Whether it's cycling, driving, walking, running, you need better mobility infrastructure. Roads need to be better. There has to be a good separation between motorized vehicles and walkers, cyclists.
The light and the washrooms are the two main safety concerns. At night, you don't know which road is going to be dug up and you end up going inside a pit because there is no light, you can't see.
People who commute to work, I know that there are some tech parks which provide this, but if there are smaller companies that they don't have parking and they don't have showers. These are small things, but then if you have these in place, I think a lot of people will take to cycling, which will also bring down the traffic in the city.
What are some suggestions you'd give to the local authorities to make cycling easier and safer?
You have to make sure that the roads are lined with trees and there is greenery so that people feel like walking and cycling.
I want women cycling to be normalized and not a phenomenon.
I think just having motorists being educated about being more aware of a cyclist or a pedestrian for that matter, I think that itself will go a far way with just making it safe for people.
What's your vision for Bengaluru as a cycling-friendly city?
Bangalore is a great place if you were to implement anything with respect to cycling.
I want everyone in Bengaluru to adopt cycling because then it will be so much more safer for everyone else, even for pedestrians, for other cyclists, etc. I want people to actively start cycling so that there's less pressure on motorized vehicles, on all the carbon emission, all the pollution that's happening.
If you are thinking that we would have highways zooming past the city and all that, I think it's not going to happen. Only way city can grow sustainably when people can take public transport, and for the last mile connectivity they can do cycling and walking. A city cannot grow when everybody has an SUV.
Follow the Bengaluru Moving campaign to stay tuned to the initiatives being taken by citizens and organizations in the city to make mobility safer and more accessible.